Shut up, be quiet. Shh. Shut up.
Alrighty. Are we ready? Akash, are you ready?
Yeah. Come on, I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to the Whatbro Media Podcast, everyone. This will be the very first podcast that we will be recording in the long form, and hopefully we will continue as well. Before getting started on the podcast and what this podcast will be about, I would like to introduce our host.
Not
We-
host.
I and Akash.
Yeah.
We both will be hosting this podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
And Akash, let's start by introducing ourselves before we go ahead with the topic of our discussion today. So, everybody, Akash.
So, hi, Kamran. It's my pleasure to be doing a podcast with you. And yeah, my name is Akash, by the way, and I'm like,
भाई
a-
ऊपर देखो कैमरे में मत देखो ऊपर देखो
and I. So, by the way, my name is Akash, and we are doing this podcast on the topic like student lifestyle and so many other things we will be discussing in the future. But as of now, we are just here.
As of now, you just introduce yourself.
As of now, okay, my name, again, I have to say my name. No worries. I just completed my BTech and just we are hustling.
Mic, you're not audible.
And we are just hustling to grow and to grow this podcast, to reach more and other things. I don't want to discuss much. I want to handle this to camera.
Okay, that was a fantastic introduction.
Not
I
that
guess.
fantastic, my bro.
Okay, my name is Kamran Razvi,
I know that.
and I work in a corporate. I work as a product manager, associate product manager, and I've been into content creation. I mean, I'm passionate about content creation, and hence us starting the Whatbro Media Podcast. More on us in detail in upcoming videos and stuff. But let's get started with the topic. Let's get started with the podcast itself. What is
Yeah.
this podcast about? Why this podcast? How this podcast? And stuff like that. Okay. So basically, our idea behind making a podcast is just very simple. We are going to follow the trend of. We are hopping basically in the trend because podcast is getting very trendy in India as well.
Yeah.
We thought, why not just start a podcast channel? And this podcast will be all around entrepreneurship, business, finance, lifestyle, mindset, and stuff like that you will be hearing for us. Entrepreneurship and business, we both are very familiar with because we have been into these kind of topics, very keenly looking into these topics, following these topics, and you can have some talks about mindset and fitness from Akash's side as well. Then tech and productivity is my
It's all Kamran.
piece of cake. So we'll be going ahead to starting with this very first podcast where we want to discuss 9 to 5 or starting your own business. Akash, I would like to ask you a question first.
Yeah.
Let's just see how it goes and then we can follow up.
Yeah.
Would you rather start your own business or would you go to a 9 to 5 job?
See, I just want to tell 9 to 5 is good. I'm not saying it's bad. Okay. If it satisfy your needs. Okay. If it satisfy your needs, if you don't want to take risk, if you just want to go with the flow, with the traditional flow, 9 to 5 is very good. I'm not saying it's bad. If you're earning good money, if you're feeding family, but 9 to 5 becomes very hard when you don't want that life. So business is why people are shifting to business. I personally shifting to business. Or I'm thinking in a business perspective because everybody wants their specific time. They want to do the task at their own time, not with the corporate world. Okay, just they want to do the time. They want to enjoy their life. They want time freedom, money freedom, and location freedom. All three things nowadays. Every teenager, every entrepreneurship wants, and I also want. Everybody wants that because I want to travel the world. We, Kamran, have a motion that we want to travel the world 180 to 192 countries, and we just want a time freedom, not just going 9 to 5, coming back, and we cannot have a time for family. We cannot spend that much money. So business have perks. I'm saying that, but it also has so many risks. So we just want to explore the things, but it's far better than 9 to 5 because you have such different options.
Yeah, I think I agree with the point, but I think there are two sets of people in general. So there are kinds of people which want to do 9 to 5, and there are kinds of people which don't want to do 9 to 5, and then these people who doesn't want to do end up either starting their own business or starting their own stuff on the side. But I mean, it's not like it's bad or something that you want to do 9 to 5 or
Yeah,
stuff like that,
completely
because
agree
I've
with
heard
that.
from a lot of people who enjoy their 9 to 5 job. Like it's just that you need to understand that there are sets of people that are willing to do two different things. Some people, majority. Let's say it's what are the percentage? I think 80 to 20 is what we can say. 80% like to do 9 to 5 job,
Yeah.
and 20%
And
want to do their own
another
business.
point I want to add.
One,
to this.
one, one,
Okay.
one thing I would add before you go on
Okay.
is that in the 80% who wants to do a 9 to 5 job, there are in that category there is two divisions as well.
Okay.
That's from my perspective.
Okay.
First one, either they love their job as a 9 to 5, doing their job, they absolutely love it, whatever the position might be. Second, they don't have any option, or they think they don't have any option, because we have been exposed to business, finance, and entrepreneurship with all those internet access and stuff like that we have right now. But I think the category who goes with the flow kind of people, who doesn't have the business mindset, are the people who wants to just do their job and get it done kind of mentality. So I think there are two types of people in those as well. Go ahead.
I completely agree with this point. Another point is that 9 to 5 is good because you don't have to think what to do next. You have to just go the flow. But business is completely different.
Absolutely.
Business doesn't have weekends. Business doesn't have holidays or festivals. Business is business. If it's money coming in, then only you're gonna sustain. Otherwise, there's no. In 9 to 5,
Absolutely. There is a great saying that I totally abide by, and that is, in 9 to 5 you do a 9 to 5 job, but when you're starting your own business, you're doing 24 hours. You're working 24 hours.
Yeah. So that's what. So people that think the business is good, I don't think so, because business is too risky. We choose this path because we want something different. So we choose this path. Otherwise, 9 to 5, if you're comfortable with living with your family, if you want weekends, chill, and 9 to 5 is way. But if you want different life, you want time freedom, location freedom, and money freedom, then you must choose a business because business give you
Okay.
options.
Let's
Yeah.
assume one thing now.
Yeah.
Let's assume that there is a fresher, an Indian fresher, who has just graduated. Let's say he's passed BTech from a good college with good marks and stuff like that. Assuming him, what is the best option he can do? Let's assume he also have a great business mindset and stuff like that. Do you think what path is best for him? Let's say there are two paths he can go, and he can do it. If he wants to go into the 9 to 5, he can do into the 9 to 5. If he wants to go to the business path, he can go to the business path as well. He knows both the things. Now, assuming that scenario, what should a fresher do? Let's assume, is currently financially stable from the family background, in the middle class as well. Does he wants to pursue 9 to 5, or does he want to do his business? What are the challenges that he faces when he goes to 9 to 5? What are the challenges he faces when he goes to business? What is your say on this?
Okay, I have a different perspective on this, Kamran. I think so. If you have a stable family, I must just say to go for first 9 to 5. Just explore first 9 to 5, because 9 to 5 have some stress. Like you have some stress, but if you can handle, if you're thinking that 9 to 5, this stress level is very much low for me, then you must always go for business. Because if you can't handle the stress level of 9 to 5, you cannot handle the business stress. Because 9 to 5, everything is prepared. You just have to eat it. But in business, everything you have to go to jungle, you have to find this, you have to cook. Everything is not planned. You have to do. Sometimes maybe animal comes and you will be his dinner. Okay. So what I'm saying is that if your stress level, if your tolerance level is very much low, like okay, so if you can go for business, but if your stress, if you're thinking 9 to 5, okay, it's very hard, it's very hard. Business is 10 times hard. You must always think like, okay, what's your point
Absolutely.
on this camera?
I think I agree with your point when you say 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is easy. It's like a ready meal, and then business is like preparing your own dish with different ingredients, doing trial and error, and then finally getting to a dish that is perfectly made.
Yeah.
That is what a that is what a business is. But I would also say that what one can do is, first, initially, in the initial stage when he's starting his career, I think he can go ahead with starting a 9 to 5,
Got it.
maybe working in a startup or something like that. Startup is a good idea, actually.
Got it. Yeah.
Working in big corporates, I don't think you will necessarily learn a lot of things, because I have seen it myself. If you work at a startup,
Got it.
you are everywhere. You get exposed to every damn single thing. Let it be from technical
Got it.
aspect,
Completely agree with
let it
that.
be from HR aspect, let it be from support aspect, let it be from any single, you name it. If you're working in a startup, you will definitely be exposed to every single thing that a company works on and relies on in a startup. So I think in initial, and that's my mentality as well. I want to work in a startup for, let's say, 2 to 3 years and give my fullest at it, gain absolutely every single knowledge on how a business is run, and on the side, after 9 to 5, let's make 2 hours to work on the side business as well, like we are currently working. So gaining real life examples from the 9 to 5 or a startup company, applying it into your own side hustle, working for 2 to 3 years on the 9 to 5,
That's
and
very good point.
and on the side hustle on the daily basis. Then eventually, when you are thinking, okay, now I can leave my full-time job and permanently work on my side hustle, when you are confident enough that will generate you money, that will compound interest, if you fully focus on that, that is, I think, the pathway that one can choose to kind of seamlessly transition from 9 to 5 or a startup to your own business as well. What do you think?
Yeah, that's completely, absolutely. That's a very good point. Like if you can handle both the other things, if you can handle that, then it's best for you, best for you, because you know how to handle things at the same time. So business is about doing multiple things at the same time. You have to handle this, you have to take mess, and you have to handle. Then only your business will sustain. So Kamran,
absolutely.
let's go
I think
into the other things what we can discuss in this podcast.
I think we can keep it
Your
on
voice.
this topic as well, because there are a little hello. I think we can keep it up because there are still a little points that I will want to cover. Let's talk about what we want to do in the realm of startup and 9 to 5 and business. What is your takeaway? Like, let's say you have two options. What is the option that you will be choosing? You have a good 9 to 5 offer that is in place for you, and then there is a business side. What will you choose?
Presently, I'm so confused, but I can give my honest option. I will go for 9 to 5. First, I will go for 9 because I know I can take risk for business, but first I want to see how my standard, where I lie. Because if you go on a ring, if you fight with someone, you're gonna know standard. This is my standard. I'm this much. Then only I can go to business. Okay. If I don't have a standard to I can work 30 days, not taking a break. I can think, maybe I have a chance in business. Otherwise, there's no chance because competition is competition. There is a huge amount of competition, and if you take
Yeah, I think that is absolutely right. Let's talk about work-life balance. That's a very touchy issue that I want to touch on. What do you think about work-life balance? Is there anything such as work-life balance? Because now that you know, working what a full 8-9 hours of job and then coming to home. How is this work-life balance? How will you kind of say that it is a work-life balance going ahead? Your voice is breaking, Akash. Yeah. So my question. Yeah.
Question. I got
All
your
right.
question. The question is like work-life
Like,
balance, right?
what
Kamran?
is it really a thing? Work-life balance?
Yeah. So, no, there is no thing as a work-life balance. Work-life balance only gets when you're rich. When you're rich, you have time freedom, location freedom, and money freedom. Then you can, I need some work-life. Until then, there is no
No,
work.
yeah,
There is different opinions. I respect
absolutely. But what do you
everyone
think
opinions.
is what work-life balance?
I
What is the
still believe
definition
that
from your
life
perspective?
is work, okay? You must, if you're awake, you must work. Work-life balance, in my perspective, is there's no specific definition in terms of mine. In terms of mine is like, what is work life? Life means what? You're enjoying. Work means what? You're not enjoying. If you're not enjoying your work, why are you doing your work? Work-life balance, what is the meaning of that? If your life is there, you must enjoy your life. If you enjoy life, means you must choose something that
I
makes
think
you happy. So
generally,
you must always
yeah,
work.
yeah.
You got it,
I
right?
think generally what is meant by work-life balance is working 5 weekdays and then on Saturday, Sundays, or on Sundays having a balance where you're not working and you're doing things that you want to do or relaxing. That is a sort of mentality that most of the people have about work-life balance. I think that's the perspective of that, but I think that is totally wrong.
Yeah.
Work-life balance is where,
I got it.
I mean, what is
Yeah.
the definition of balance? It's 50-50, right? Both the weights, both the
Yeah.
ways on the either side should be equal. That is the definition of balance. Now, work-life balance, where does that exist? I don't think that exists in the current situation where you're working all day.
Yeah, 5-2 ratio. What is
You're
that?
working all day.
Is that a
You're
joke?
working all day, and you come home. You're all tired. You don't have a little single inch of power to do anything else. You eat dinner. You watch a bit of Netflix, and it's the same cycle that repeats. I don't think that's a work-life balance, and there is no such thing as work-life balance that exists purely.
Got it. It's completely, I agree with that point.
So, what do you think on the final note? Quick question: would you rather take a 9 to 5 or do your own business? Just in 1 minute.
Okay. Just in one word, one sentence, I feel like whatever you're doing, okay, or love what you do. That's simple.
That's quite a motivation from Akash's side. I think that will wrap up our first episode of the Whatbro Media Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Startup or your own business. I think it's a controversial topic, but simple definition. If you want to do business, I think first, do 2 to 3 years of experience in the startup or a 9 to 5, gain exposure, gain knowledge about everything and how it works, and then maybe transition yourself into business. On that note, thank you for listening / watching the Whatbro Media Podcast. A lot of stuff is coming ahead on different topics as well. This side, Kamran and Akash, this is Whatbro Media Podcast.
Yeah.
And we will definitely see you in the next week. Bye.